group projects have to be one of the single greatest scams in the entire history of education. Like, what kind of psychopath teacher sat down one day and thought, you know what would be a great idea? Let me take the one kid who actually does their work, throw them in a group with four people who can barely stay awake during a lecture, and then grade them all the same. That's not teamwork. That's hostage negotiation. And I know for a fact that every single person watching this has been on one side of that equation. You were either the person carrying the entire project on your back, like Atlas holding up the sky, or you were the person who showed up on presentation day, not even knowing what the topic was. There is no in between. And today I want to walk you through the multiple stages of group project suffering because it goes so much deeper than people think. So it all starts with group formation. Now, if you're smart, and I mean strategically smart, not just academically smart, you already have a system. See, what I used to do every single year was team up with the other kids who actually cared about their grades, and we would form what I like to call an intellectual monopoly. We were running the classroom like a Fortune 500 company. Everybody had a role, everybody pulled their weight, and everybody else in the class just had to suffer. It was beautiful, it was efficient, it was the most cutthroat academic strategy since someone figured out you could write notes on a water bottle label. But the thing about monopolies is they only work when you're there to maintain them. So one singular Friday, I wasn't at school. I don't even remember why. Probably a doctor's appointment, probably just didn't feel like going, doesn't matter. What matters is that on this particular Friday, my teacher decided it was the perfect day to assign groups for a major project. And because I wasn't there to strategically position myself with the smart kids, the teacher just auto-assigned me to whoever was sitting at my table, which happened to be my friends. Now, I love my friends. I really do. They're some of the funniest people I know. But academically, bro, these are the same people who would ask me what chapter we were on in a book we'd been reading for 3 months. These are the people who would see a multiple choice question with 4 options and somehow pick the one answer that wasn't even listed. Like, I genuinely do not know how they made it to high school, but at this point, I didn't even know the group existed. Nobody told me, nobody texted me, nobody sent me a carrier pigeon. I was out here living my life thinking everything was fine, completely unaware that my GPA was about to take a hit like it got clotheslined by the Undertaker. So 2 weeks go by, 2 full weeks, and I walk into class on the day the project is due, and my teacher hands back our grade. Now, the project was a bullet point text analysis, like not even an essay, not a research paper, not a 15-page dissertation on the socioeconomic implications of the Industrial Revolution. Bullet points, you literally just had to read a text and write down what you noticed. A golden retriever with a keyboard could have gotten a B, but whatever my friends had submitted, and I use the word submitted very loosely, had gotten us a D, 40 out of 100, 4-0. I looked at that paper and I swear my vision went blurry for a second. I felt like that one meme of the guy doing math equations in his head, trying to figure out where everything went wrong. 40 marks on bullet points. I didn't even know it was possible to fail at bullet points. That's like losing a game of tic-tac-toe. How do you mess that up? So now I'm standing there with a D on a project I didn't even know existed, and I have to go into full damage control mode. I walked up to my teacher's desk, and I swear I turned into a defense attorney. I was pleading, I was bargaining, I was presenting evidence. Your Honor, Miss, I wasn't even here when this group was formed. I didn't contribute to this. I didn't approve this. I didn't even proofread this. I was one more sentence away from pulling out a PowerPoint presentation on why this grade was a miscarriage of justice. And my teacher, bless her heart, she looked at me with this expression that said, I know you didn't do this, but rules are rules. And she hit me with the most teacher response of all time. She said, I'll give your group a second chance, but first I need you to write a set of rules for how to work better as a group and hang them on the wall. A set of rules on the wall, like we're kindergartners who just got caught eating glue. I'm in high school being asked to write rule number 1, do your work, on a poster board. But you know what? I did it. I wrote those rules. I laminated the vibes on that thing. It was hanging on that wall looking more professional than half the stuff in the teacher's office. I would have framed it if I could, because at the end of the day, that piece of paper was the only thing standing between me and a D on my transcript, marked music, so she gives us a second chance. And by us, I mean me, because she gave us, or should I say gave me, 2 days to redo the entire project that everyone else had 2 whole weeks for. 2 days versus 2 weeks. That's not a second chance. That's a speed run. Everyone else got to casually work on this thing over 14 days, and I'm over here trying to cram 2 weeks of analysis into 48 hours like I'm defusing a bomb. I felt like I was on one of those cooking competition shows where someone gets eliminated and they give the remaining person double the dishes to cook in half the time. Congratulations, you survived. Now do everything. And here's where it gets even better. My group members, my beloved academically challenged friends, they wanted to help. They really did. And I appreciate the sentiment. I really do. So we got on Discord and I started dictating the analysis while they typed it out. Simple, right? I talk, they type. Foolproof plan, except it was very much not foolproof because every second word I would lose my entire train of thought. And the reason I kept losing my train of thought is because I'd be mid-sentence saying something like the author uses this metaphor to highlight the, and then I'd glance at the screen and see that they spelled the as Tia every single time. And it wasn't just the. These people could not spell to save their lives. I'm watching the Google Doc in real time, and it looks like someone is typing with their elbows. I said high school, and I watched one of them type HI school, no GH, just hi, like they were greeting the school. How are you in high school, and you genuinely do not know how to spell hi? That's like being a chef who doesn't know what an oven is. That's like being a lifeguard who can't swim. I was losing my mind. So I'm sitting there on Discord dictating a project at 11 p.m., stopping every 3 seconds to spell check words that a fifth grader would know, slowly losing the will to live, while my group members provide what they called moral support. And by moral support, I mean they were in the voice call saying things like, "You got this, bro, and we believe in you," while contributing absolutely nothing of academic value. They were my personal cheerleading squad, pom-poms and everything, just no actual work. Music. But you want to know the craziest part? I finished it. In 2 days, I redid the entire project, turned it in, and we got a solid grade. And my group members celebrated like they just won the Super Bowl. High-fiving each other, talking about, we really pulled through. We? I pulled through. Y'all were spectators. Y'all bought tickets to watch me work and had the audacity to rush the field after. I have never felt more like LeBron James carrying the 2018 Cavaliers in my entire life. That man dragged a team to the NBA Finals through sheer willpower, and everyone else just happened to be wearing the same jersey. That was me with this text analysis. And the thing is, this isn't even a unique experience. This happens to somebody in every single class, every single year, in every single school on the planet. Group projects are designed to teach you teamwork and collaboration, but all they actually teach you is that one person is going to do everything and everyone else is going to watch. It's not a project, it's a social experiment in frustration. You walk in thinking you're going to divide the work equally and walk out with trust issues that'll follow you into the workplace. I think the real problem with group projects is that teachers grade the group, not the individual. So there's zero incentive for the person who doesn't care to suddenly start caring just because their name is on the same paper as yours. They know you're going to pick up the slack because your GPA depends on it. It's basically a hostage situation where your grade is the hostage and your group members are the ones making demands they have no intention of following through on. And don't even get me started on the group members who volunteer to do a section and then just vanish. Like, they'll be in the group chat Monday night saying, I'll have my part done by Wednesday. And then Wednesday comes and they're nowhere to be found. You text them, no response. You call them straight to voicemail. Their last seen on WhatsApp was 2 days ago. At that point, you're not working on a project, you're filing a missing persons report. I had a guy once tell me he couldn't finish his section because his computer got a virus. Bro, your computer did not get a virus. Your Minecraft launcher doesn't count as a virus. You just didn't do it. Without doing the music. But honestly, looking back at it, as painful as all of that was, group projects did teach me one thing. They taught me that in real life, you're always going to have to work with people who don't pull their weight. And the sooner you learn how to deal with that, whether it's picking up the slack, having a direct conversation, or writing a set of rules and hanging them on a wall like a psycho, the better off you're going to be. Because trust me, if you think group projects in school are bad, wait till you get to the workplace and realize that a grown adult with a salary and a mortgage is doing the exact same thing your group members did in 10th grade. At least in school, you only lost a letter grade. In real life, you lose your sanity. So yeah, group projects, 0 out of 10, would not recommend. But also somehow, despite all odds, I survived every single one. And I've got the wall poster to prove it.